Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for joining another His Story search. We're going to be checking out the Colonnade here. I couldn't find a wacky on this, so we are on the kcparks.org, Kansas City's Parks and Recreation website. The Colonnade is located on the concourse. It was built in 1908 and was designed by Henry Wright, who worked in George Kessler's office in St. Louis. And the George Kessler name pops up once again. I still have to do some looking into him. And then this butchered sentence here, working on it with George Kessler on it, after the park board requested in July 1906 that Mr. Kessler provide drawings for the structure. The building was completed in 1908, then a fountain was added in the center in 1909, was also designed by Mr. Wright. The fountain was replaced by a memorial to John F. Kennedy by local American Legion Post 151 in 1965. So who in the world wrote this paragraph here is what I would like to know. Talk about butchering things. I mean, I am definitely not one to judge, but if you're gonna try to feed me a story, at least, try to make it sound good. I guess that's all we're getting with this. So I guess, the park, they really wanted this structure built. They requested this, apparently. And, the Henry Wright here and Mr. Kessler were happy to oblige. Wonder if I can find a photo with the fountain still remaining. They ripped out probably a amazing fountain here and put up a memorial to a president that who really knows what happened to this man? Do we believe anything we've been told at this point? Let me see if I can't find a little more information on this, and then we'll check out some old photos. And here's a little quick reference for anybody interested. This is the Missouri River, obviously. We were down here, this concourse park, and I was trying to find Bellefontaine Ave here, and I still couldn't find a street sign or anything for that. I don't know what the deal was, but luckily I managed to find myself right there at the Colonnade. So anyways, in this area so we got a Kessler Park here that I just noticed. I've heard of Lookout Point before. So several other interesting things in here we need to check out. I saw a few things from the alleged satellite image of this area, as well as this Museum of Kansas City looks to be a very interesting old world structure and apparently housing his story of Kansas City. So that would be interesting to look at as well, but we're going to move on. I'm on this Evendo, whatever that is, website here. I'm going to read a few things off of this. There's a map down here I thought we should look at as well. So other than all the filler stuff in here, the structure is a testament to Kansas City's rich historical narrative, reflecting the city's commitment to preserving its cultural heritage. So there you go. We got a very rich historical narrative around here. I think that's pretty much everywhere in the realm. As far as our cultural heritage, that's what we're trying to find out, right? My opinion is that this wasn't built by our people. The Colonnade serves as a perfect backdrop for photography enthusiasts, with its elegant design and scenic views of the city's skyline, providing a captivating campus. The park surrounding the Colonnade is adorned with lush greenery and is ideal for picnicking or simply relaxing away from the hustle and bustle of urban life. The tranquil environment is often enhanced by the sounds of nature, making it a perfect escape for those looking to unwind. And all that sounds great in words here. But so we were looking at the little trail that runs behind here, and yes, it goes down to Cliff Drive apparently, which I was trying to take. They had, so one side of this Cliff Drive was blocked off, and then of course there was a truck with a trailer just parked on the other side. I wasn't going to sit around waiting, but I ended up finding what I needed to anyways, so it worked out great. But we're going to check out the Cliff Drive at some point. There's a lot of interesting things going on in this park. Here we are looking at the HisssStory on the Public Library Digital History again. And not finding much information on here either. They've got a description here. Significant architecturally as
Beaux-Arts, French.
Style representative structure at Kessler Park, located with the Missouri Pacific Railroad at the north, Belmont Boulevard on the east, Gladstone Boulevard and Lexington Avenue on the south, and Paseo Boulevard on the west. And that's all we get out of this. If you want a copy of any information that they have, you must request it. Because, yeah. Let's check out some photos. And just an FYI that I neglected to mention here. These colonnades, there are several of them in the Kansas City area. We actually looked at one on the Paseo. And this is another one that's on the Paseo as well that we have not looked at yet. But let's see if there's any. I wanted to find a photo of this with the fountain before they put this stupid JFK thing up here. Absolutely ridiculous. I'm not seeing anything here. Most of these are new. There's not even a postcard of this. Here it is. And there's the fountain. Which you can barely see, and I bet if I click this, it is not going to give me a photo. Oh, here's a image of the Kansas City Museum that I was just talking about. Look at this thing. But we're not going to get distracted here. Let's go back. Just trying to find a better image. This cut and paste postcard here isn't really doing it. They're all far away. What's this big piece of melt right here? Oh, that's still there, actually. It's some other monument. I meant to look at the massive fountain in this area also, but I forgot. I bet the view is probably, well, it has to be better in the winter. All the leaves and stuff fall off the trees. You can see more. We'll try the goggles and wrap this thing up. Here we are back on the Kansas City Public Library digital HisssStory. And they're referring to this as North Terrace Park. You know, I've heard Kessler Park, I've heard Concourse Park. What's with the multiple names here? But finally we get a few images. Not seeing a date on these. Looks like a pretty modest fountain, but nonetheless. Let's check out this black and white here. Got one little birdie chilling. Probably wishing the fountain was operational. Roof looking a little rough here. Got the 1908 there. Missing some shingles. And that looks like an OG streetlight. Pretty interesting back here in the background. You know, when we were standing up here looking out, it looked like a huge valley down in here. You know, there was that path that goes down to the Cliff Drive, which we can only imagine what the Cliff Drive is all about. I'm sure, you know, it's all natural rock formations along there, not utter destruction. But this looks different in here. A lot less trees, and it looks like there's a hill instead of a valley. Could just be the perspective, but here we get this date created 1920 once again. I see that a lot in here, and I'm not really sure what that's referring to. If it's talking about the photograph or what. Oh, so, and it's not going to let me look. This little oval thing over here, if you can see my cursor, also looks like a bit of destruction, completely overgrown, so something that needs to be investigated in the fall. but I noticed that as I was looking at this area from above. But I think that's going to wrap this one up, guys. I appreciate your time and thank you very much for watching.